Weak men believe in luck. Strong men believe in cause and effect. Ralph Waldo Emerson said that. Most people agree that weak and strong people behave differently. They make different decisions, don't they? They respond to situations differently, they think differently. But what exactly do weak people do differently from stronger people? Well, that's what we're exploring today, Aluxer. Here are 15 things only weak people do. Welcome to Alux. Number 1. Feel entitled to success. Is anyone owed anything in life? Well, a weak person might think so. But on the flip side, strong people understand that life isn't fair or easy. If you want something, you have to strive and persevere to get it. You have to work hard. You have to risk failure. You have to experience discomfort, and you have to be persistent. Yes, you will fail along the way, likely more than once. When met with failure, strong people continue to pursue their dreams anyway. In their view, failure is an inevitability. It's something to overcome on their lifelong journey to success. But on the contrary, weak people do the opposite. They believe the universe will reward them with success simply for existing. They don't recognize the amount of hard work that strong people put into achieving success, and they mistakenly believe that they're just as deserving of that success. But unfortunately, the debt they believe the universe owes them will never be paid. Success will not simply fall into your lap. Feeling entitled to success means weak people will always struggle to achieve success because they spend too much time waiting around and wasting time. The universe owes nothing to anybody, and that'll never change. So to become strong, you have to understand that success is earned, not deserved. Number 2, they don't allow themselves to be vulnerable. It's a myth that strong people never display vulnerability, because being vulnerable requires emotional strength, introspection, and honesty. Vulnerability is necessary for building resilient relationships that are based on trust. Weak people often struggle to show vulnerability because they think it's a display of weakness, which is something they want to hide, and they could not be more wrong. Eventually, this leads to relationships stagnating and falling apart. A weak person might think to themselves, "Nobody understands me. I'm different to everyone else." But the truth is that people fail to see the weak person for who they are because they're not strong enough to allow themselves to be vulnerable and be seen. Number 3, they indulge in self-pity. Weak people frequently feel sorry for themselves. They refuse to acknowledge that they're the ones steering the ship. Instead, they believe that their struggles are the fault of other people. Now, while it's true that other people and events outside of your control can negatively affect you, strong people see these events as obstacles. Strong people steer around them, or they patch up the ship if they strike it. And if all else fails and the ship capsizes, well, they swim to shore and build a new ship to steer. Weak people think they have no control over their ship. They stand idly by while the ship careens off its path. They wonder why the obstacles in the water aren't being moved for them instead of trying to steer around them. When their ship inevitably capsizes, they tread water, waiting for a lifeboat that will never come. Nothing is the fault of a weak person, or so they think. They're always the victim. You might hear a weak person say, "Why do these things always happen to me? I didn't do anything wrong." Well, because weak people can't admit that their situation is governed by themselves. They cannot find happiness or success. They're simply too wrapped up in blaming others. Number 4, be impatient. Weak people can sometimes confuse impatience with ambition. Making hasty decisions isn't indicative of a motivated person, but instead a characteristic of a weak person who's desperate to achieve instant success. Strong people are not desperate to find success. They're instead quietly confident that they'll achieve their dreams with considered decision-making, hard work, and time. Impatience to be successful clouds your judgment and can cause you to end up on the wrong track. Number 5, rant and rage. Look, we all feel anger on occasion. It's a very human emotion to have. Sometimes something happens or somebody does something that enrages us. Now, while your feelings may be perfectly valid, launching into a tirade of abuse is never the right choice. Weak people often don't have a good handle on their emotions. They let their anger get the better of them and they react explosively. While stronger people feel anger and frustration just as deeply, they have the emotional strength to remain calm and control the way they respond to their emotions. Strong people respond. Weak people react. That is the key difference. Now, when we feel a bout of rage coming on, de-escalating the situation is the top priority. And if that isn't possible, simply walking away is the next best option. Ranting and raging should be avoided at all costs. Number 6, resist change. Weak people struggle to make and accept changes in their life. They often avoid uncertainties and risks because they doubt their ability to overcome new challenges. They're afraid to take on new opportunities because they're uncertain of what awaits them. They're terrified of failing, so they make excuses. I don't need this opportunity. I don't have what it takes. It's not even that great of an opportunity. Something better will come along. Strong people, though, they don't resist change. If they believe there's something to be gained through this change, they persevere through the unknown. And this doesn't mean they're never apprehensive about change, but they understand that change creates a new opportunity for positive long-term growth. Change may mean you learn new skills, meet new interesting people, and experience other cultures and perspectives, while weak people let the fear of change overcome them. Strong people maneuver in unison with change because they know the outcome is worth any temporary feelings of discomfort. Number 7, shut down. Shutting down is a defense mechanism employed by weaker people. When situations get challenging, weaker people typically don't feel able to deal with them. Weak people prefer to avoid the issue because it's easier in the short term. Now, let's say a weak person has an argument with their partner. Their response may be to walk away or simply to stop talking to their partner. They may even start yelling at their partner so they can avoid discussing the emotionally challenging problem at hand. Dealing with serious problems is never comfortable, but shutting down and not dealing with them simply lets them fester. If you want to become a strong person, issues have to be tackled head on, and shutting down is not an option. Number 8, false superiority. Weak people often put their needs and wants above others. Weak people never want to admit that they're weak, but deep down, they know that they are. To hide this about themselves, they act like they're superior to those around them. This overinflated self-image helps to disguise their insecurity and self-hatred. Number 9, holds a grudge. Holding a grudge against someone is typical of a weak person. Remaining angry about something that happened a long time ago means you never came to a resolution or managed to make a compromise on the issue. That's why you can't leave these issues in the past. Being able to resolve issues you're having with someone requires emotional strength and courage. And because weak people don't have these qualities, they often end up holding on to their grudges. And if you're holding on to a grudge, become a stronger person by resolving that issue so there's no longer any hard feelings. And if that's not possible, compromise. Accept that while you were wronged, it's not worth your while to remain angry and bitter over something in the past. Number 10, they seek sympathy. Weak people often crave attention, and sympathy is an easy way to get it. Do you know someone who always seems like they've got a new kind of injury or illness, or who catastrophizes their life in every way possible? Telling sob stories is an almost surefire way to get the pity and support of other people. But emotionally strong people don't feel this incessant need for sympathy because they already respect themselves and aren't desperate for the attention of others. Number 11, they take revenge. Weak people take revenge when they feel they've been wronged by someone. When a weak person feels wronged, it's like a big hit to their fragile ego. It causes them to question themselves. It activates insecurities, and this turns into humiliation or anger, or both. A weak person thinks that the person who caused them to experience these feelings needs to be punished. A stronger person would understand that taking revenge does nothing to change their own situation or get rid of their insecurities. Number 12, they rarely admit fault. Weak people are often insecure. Admitting fault is difficult for them because this means they have to accept that they have a flaw or that they made a mistake. Look, we all get things wrong from time to time. It's an inevitability of being human. Weak people believe that admitting fault would make them appear even weaker. But strong people, on the other hand, they don't have such great insecurities. They can admit fault because they know that it doesn't mean they're letting the fault define them. It's actually a show of major strength when you can own up to your downsides. Number 13, they refuse to entertain others' opinions. Weak people hate to be wrong, and we all know someone who refuses to accept or even listen to a view that differs from their own. Even if you present that person with damning evidence that proves their point of view is misguided, they'll refuse to let go of their undeveloped ideas. Because weak people always feel they have to be right in order to prove their value, they're unable to grow as people. They're not able to learn or build upon their own perspectives. Strong people understand that there's nothing weak about changing your opinion on something. It takes a certain kind of emotional intelligence to change your mind. You have to come to the realization that you once had a naive view on something. While weak people want to appear as though they already know everything, strong people know that they should constantly challenge their opinions in order to get the most well-rounded perspective. Number 14, they take feedback very poorly. Constructive criticism is a highly valuable resource. It allows us to develop our skills and make positive changes in life. Except weak people hate to receive any feedback that isn't high praise. If you tell a weak person that their work could use some improvement, well, they might lash out or deny that anything was wrong with it at all. By doing so, they're missing out on an opportunity to improve and limiting their future potential. Number 15, they give up. Weak people view setbacks as failures and catastrophes. They don't have the strength to rebound and rebuild. They turn to the only option that means they won't have to risk failure again, and that's giving up. But how can we ever learn from our mistakes if we never make mistakes in the first place? Remember, failure does not define you. Instead, it's how you respond to failure that does. If you can dust yourself off and stand up again to continue to fight for your aspirations, then you haven't failed in the long run. You only fail when you stop trying. Failure is merely an obstacle to success, except now, through your failure, you have a greater understanding of exactly how to succeed. And Alexa, that's a wrap for this one. Thanks for sticking with us until the end, and because you did, here's your well-deserved bonus. Sometimes something so catastrophic happens that we feel like we've got nothing left. Maybe you were let go from your job. Maybe you lost a lot of money on an investment. It's easy to feel that there's no way to recover from your situation, but that is not true. It's never impossible to start over and succeed. In fact, we've got a video on 15 steps to start over. Thank you for watching this video, Aluxer. If you found it valuable, consider subscribing to our channel and joining our awesome community. And if you're still hungry for more, we handpicked this video for you to watch next, or head over to our website for more amazing content. See you tomorrow.